Hi everybody, today's topic is adding and subtracting decimals. As a reminder, you do not need to write down everything, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of problem that we cover. Also remember that you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you got it. Just be careful and make sure that you don't fast forward too much, that you miss out on something important. So let's begin. For adding and subtracting decimals, you just have to remember that you need to line up your decimal places before adding or subtracting. And we use the decimal point as kind of a barrier for us to line up our places. We'll go through some examples of that later. And then when you're adding and subtracting, you always want to make sure you do that from right to left. You want to start with your smallest values so that if you need to borrow from a particular place value, or if you need to add on and make a different place value bigger, you're starting from smallest to largest. So that is from the right to the left. Make sure that you have all this jotted down in your notes before moving on. Okay, let's go over some examples. In this example, it says that Sophia's batting average is 0.022, or 22 thousandths higher than Jowd's batting average. Jowd has a batting average of 0.169, or 169 thousandths. What is Sophia's batting average? Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can solve it on your own first. Alright, so in this problem, I need to first find out if we're adding or subtracting. So Sophia's batting average is higher than Jowd's batting average. So if we're trying to find Sophia's batting average, we will need to add this amount to Jowd's batting average because hers is higher. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting up this problem. Remember, we want to line up our place values, and we want to use the decimal point as kind of the boundary. So we're going to add up Sophia's, and we're going to add up Jowd's. Jowd has 0.169. So I'm making sure that my decimal point is lined up, my tenths are lined up, my hundredths, and my thousandths. Tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Because when we're adding, we want to make sure we're adding the thousandths to each other, the hundredths to each other, and the tenths to each other. If we were to line it up any way that we wanted, like this, we would not be adding the correct place values together. We would be adding tenths to the thousandths here, we would be adding tenths to the hundredths here, and we would be adding like the ones to the tenths over here. That is not okay, all right? It's kind of like when you have money. You would never add a dollar bill to a penny and say that you have $2, right? You would never say that. You are only going to add your dollar bills to each other and your cents to each other. And you're going to line up your 10 cents versus your pennies. So it's the same thing here. You want to make sure that your values, your place values, are the same before you add them up. All right, and we're going to start from the right, work our way to the left. So 2 plus 9 is 11. Put that place value over there. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 0 plus 1 is 1. And then we bring down that decimal point and we have our zeros. So our answer is 0.191 for Sophia's batting average. And we got adding because we saw that Sophia's batting average is higher. So we would need to add it to Jowd's because his is lower to get to hers. Let's try another one. All right, go ahead and pause this video and try this one on your own first. It says, at full price, Melvin would pay $1.679 per liter of gas. Using his loyalty card, Melvin only pays $1.439 per liter? How much less does Melvin pay per liter using his loyalty card? So try it on your own first. All right, key word here is how much less. So that means that we have to subtract. The other thing that might have gotten you in this problem is the fact that these dollars have way less than a cent, 1.679, right? Normally we would not have that third digit and we would say $1.67 or $1.43. However, the next time you go out and your learning coach or somebody that you're in the car with is pumping gas, you will see the prices on the sign and you'll probably notice that there's an extra digit at the end. So you'll see a sign that says something like this, per gallon or whatever. Okay, that's how we actually pay for our gas. We are actually paying even less than a cent, so that eventually if this price goes up, then it will bump this price to $1.68 because it's so close, it's 9/10. That's how gas is sold and measured. It is very, very, very precise. It's even smaller than the amount of a penny. So that's something interesting that you can look for the next time you're out and the driver is pumping their gas. You can see that. So back to the problem. How much less does Melvin pay per liter using his loyalty card? So we know that the loyalty card, he's saving money, okay? So when we set up our subtraction problem, we're going to take the full price and we're going to subtract the loyalty card amount. 1.679 subtract 1.439. I want to make sure, like before, that my decimals are lined up and then I can subtract. And I'm going from right to left. 9 minus 9 is 0, 7 minus 3 is 4, 6 minus 4 is 2, 1 minus 1 is 0. And I put down that decimal point. So he is saving about 24 cents. And that's per liter. So if he has 10 liters that he is filling up at the gas station, then he is going to be paying $2.40 less. So it adds up. All right, let's do another problem. This problem says to get to work each morning, Emily takes a horse 10.98 kilometers and a bike 4.06 kilometers. How many kilometers is Emily's journey in total? So go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own first. All right. So in total is the key word you should have picked up. In total means that you're adding it together. Just like how when you get a bill at a restaurant, they're going to put down all the dishes that you bought, and then they are going to total it up for you. Okay, I'm just going to make up something here. Okay, so that's the total. They've added it up for you. All right, so here we're going to add these up. 10.98 or 10 and 98 hundredths plus 4.06 or 4 and 6 hundredths. I need to make sure that my decimal places are lined up before I add. So decimal place lined up, tenths lined up, hundredths lined up. Don't just write it like this. Okay, don't line up the numbers, line up the decimal places. This is not correct. Decimal places are the ones, the decimal point, is the one that separates our wholes from our decimals. So we want to make sure that that is what we're using to line up our numbers. And then we add from right to left. 8 plus 6 is 14. Put that place value over there. 9 plus 1 is 10. Place value up there, move that decimal place down. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus nothing is 1. So the total is 15.04 that she is using to get to work. 15.04 kilometers. Okay. Here's our last problem. According to Jax's pedometer, so that's kind of like a Fitbit. Pedometer is measuring how far you walk. He walked 2.783 kilometers, or while he was taking care of the livestock in the morning, and 3.124 kilometers taking care of the livestock in the evening. How far did Jack walk while taking care of the livestock today? Go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own first. All right, so we want to know how far did Jack walk while taking care of the livestock today. So we have the morning time and we have the evening time. So when we talk about today, there's not a key phrase, but we know in the whole day we're including the morning time and the evening time. So it should be an addition problem here. We want to line up our numbers, so make sure the decimal points are lined up. So 3.124. A lot of people sometimes write their decimal places first and then they fill in the numbers. You can always use that method as well if that helps you. We're going to add from right to left. 4 plus 3 is 7. 8 plus 2 is 10. 7 plus 2 is 9. Carry down that decimal point, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So 5.907 kilometers, or 5 and 907 thousandths of a kilometer. All right. So let me know if you have any questions as you're working on this at home. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. And if not, I will see you in class.